Hi, friends, and welcome to card number 3 of our Cozy Up Creative Design Studio. Here we're going to do a fun fancy fold and a few other cards. Let's get started. Keep your guide handy because we will start by creating the card per the workshop instructions. Gather all of your pieces and we are going to start stamping. You see I still have my stamp cushion underneath on my Versamat, underneath my all-purpose mat, and I am stamping all of these leaves and adding the color in just like we did on the previous cards. These leaves turn out so pretty once they're done. I'm just loving this effect of using the sponge to add in just a little bit of color. I'm not being very particular. I'm not trying to stay in any lines. I'm just adding color, and look at how fun they look. Next, I'm going to edge distress with the toffee on this white daisy piece and add some rosemary color in the center, which we will later stamp our words on. Next, I'm going to edge distress all of these pieces with the toffee ink. Remember how much of a difference it makes on that mocha piece, especially with my trimmer was probably needing a new blade, but you can't tell once I edge distress it. So now we are cleaning our stamp. Remember our Michael Jackson moonwalk, and seasoning the next stamp, which is our words, and we're going to stamp the happy birthday in there. Now keep in mind, if you don't need happy birthday for all these, you can use some of the other stamp sets to change the sentiment, right? Now I'm going to bring out my Versamat so that I can use the grid lines, edge distress the edge of the card base itself with the toffee ink, and we are ready to start putting this one together. Super fun. You see that edge distressing and what a difference it makes? It makes that visual line between the patterns of your paper. Okay, and here I'm going to give you another little tip. See how I started to put just the one piece? I recently learned this tip. Why I didn't think of it earlier. You put both of them together and run your adhesive, and then you put the adhesive on both of them at the same time rather than having the extra adhesive just go off on your mat. Such an aha moment, right? So fun. All right, so I'm just building this card per the workshop instruction, and it goes together so quick and easy. Next, I'm going to bring in our white gel pen and draw the little lines. I don't do well with doodling these days. You know, since I've had this vertigo issue, I have such a hard time putting things straight. So I ended up using another little piece of paper to try to keep my doodle lines straight, which helped a little bit, but you saw I smeared it. Oh, I couldn't win for losing. But anyway, there you have it. I got the little doodle lines there, and we are ready to add in our wreath in the center using my little all-purpose mat. You know, this is just another little mat that I cut down from a bigger one so that I can just set it closer here on top of my Versamat so that I can use it for putting adhesive and things. Now we are ready to start embellishing this with our beautiful leaves that we already colored, and I added in some 3D foam tape. And lastly, we will grab our arrow, add a little bit of color with the white gel pen, and card number 3, the first way is complete, and we are ready to start the second way. Now we are ready to assemble card number 3 the second way, and here we're using glitter paper. And remember, as I showed in card number 2, you can gut this so you're not using as big of a piece. Can you see how much that toffee ink on the edge really made that pop when I put it down on that gold? Such a difference. So we're building this one pretty much the same as we did. Remember this tip about putting adhesive on 2 pieces at the same time. That is such a fun tip. Okay, adding that rosemary in the center, adding some toffee around the edge, and again, we're going to stamp our words in the middle, and we are finishing this card up as well. Oh, make sure I put it straight. I have such a hard time putting things straight. You'll see here in just a minute for the arrow on this one, rather than doing the white gel pen, I decided to color it with the paprika ink and added that in without using the gel pen. I loved that rich color of the paprika ink on this card, along with the richness of the glitter paper versus leaving it the cork wood color. Look at how pretty this is with that rich glitter and the arrow and the paprika. So much fun. Next, I know I'm slightly off camera here, so you're really not going to see it, and I apologize, but I decided to take the gold glitter brush, shimmer brush, and add it to one of the leaves to see how it looked. And I'm going to pick it up here and show it in the camera. It's so hard to see the shimmer, but it was so pretty in person. Now we are ready to start assembling card number 3 the third way. And again, I'm going to use the toffee ink around the edge of the card base and around my paper. I am going to do the same basic card design here as I've done on the previous two. This one, you'll see here that I'm going to replace one of the honey butter pieces with the gold glitter paper. So there I just cut a little strip of gold glitter paper and I am adding that in there in place of one of the honey butter pieces. I thought I was going to color on the back of this piece with the shimmer brush, but instead I decided to stamp it and do some splattering, which was super fun, clean up my mess, and we are ready to continue assembling this card after I refill my adhesive. And you'll see I'm going to add the gold shimmer brush to these leaves as well for such a beautiful shimmer and shine. I got a little too much on that first one, so I changed it out. It was just making a mess. My shimmer brush was very wet when I tried, and it smeared the mocha ink underneath. So here I'm adding in that arrow. And this one I did decide to do the white on it, and we are done with card number 3 the third way, and we're going to get ready to do the fancy fold. You will need the 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock and something to score with. And you see here I found that this multi-purpose tool even works good for scoring. Look at that. I never even thought to use this tool before for scoring, and look at how great it works. So you are going to score 2.75 from each end. So do one side and then flip it over and do the other side. So you have 2.75 from each end. Okay, look at how great that tool works. So you don't need a fancy scoreboard. Just your cutter and a tool. Even a butter knife will work. So here I'm showing it's 11 inches long by 4 1/4 wide, and we scored at 2.75 from each end, and I'm gonna fold it up on those score lines. So it's a little, I'm at the bottom of my camera screen there, but I'm just folding it up to the middle on each of the score lines, right? So now guess what, my friends? We have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 gatefold card that is your standard A2 size card that we just made this little fancy fold on. Now I'm pretty much going to do again the same card design with just a little bit of twist to accommodate our gatefold here. Next, I'm going to edge distress the white daisy piece with the toffee ink on all the sides, just like we've done on our previous cards. Super fun. Gonna bring in this piece. Now we're gonna cut this piece in half, right? So I cut it exactly in half, and I'm edge distressing both pieces, and I'm gonna butt these up to the inside of that opening. Okay, so you see I opened it up to make it easier, but I'm putting it all the way to the edge so that they butt together at the gatefold opening. Okay, can you see how I did that? All right, and then we're going to add in these pieces. Remember, adhering them together. And I'm going to put these to the center of the gatefold. So I've opened it, but again, they're right there to the center of the, and then right next to it for the next two. Look at how fun this is. Goes together so super cute. And then we're going to glue these down next. How do you like that tip with gluing two at a time? For years, my friends, I have glued just one at a time. Why not put them side by side and do both of them? So here I'm just deciding how I want to accommodate that happy birthday in the center, and I did decide to trim it down some and do a banner on the end. Now this is real important here, because you don't want to adhere this down all the way or you're going to glue your card shut. So we are only putting adhesive on part of it. And this was just a happy accident, excuse me, that I was using a piece of paper that I had stamped happy birthday on before and didn't realize it. So I actually have happy birthday on both the outside and the inside, and it looked perfectly planned, but that was not planned at all. Be sure you only add your adhesive to half of this circle, and then we're going to add some 3D foam tape to our leaves and add our leaves in here. These leaves are so pretty. I just love them. This card turned out super cute. I was so excited with it. I decided to do some stamping on the inside with a couple of leaves just for a little extra decoration. And on the front of the card, I did also add in one of the arrows, but you'll notice I cut it down and added it in. I tucked it under the leaves and I did not add the gel pen. So much fun, my friends. Tell us below what you think of this card number 3.